Hey, it's Natasha from Big Rock Organics, and welcome to week 13, lucky 13 of the CSA. It is really amazing to see things transition, and we've got some fun new things this week. So we have some winter squash coming your way. We are starting to harvest out of the winter squash field, so we have some butternut this week, and these are so delicious. The best way I like to cook squash is just simply to stab it a couple times with a knife and then to bake it in the oven at 350 or so with whatever you happen to be baking. And I'll bake up my squashes for the week so I can just use my oven efficiently whenever I'm baking something else. And then I cut it open and scoop out the seeds. Now, butternut squash has a small seed cavity down here and a lot of really delicious orange flesh up here. So this is a great variety if you like to make like butternut squash fries or dice it or something like that, because it's so easy to cut. And that I would do raw before cooking. If you're going to cut it into strips or cubes or anything like that, do that raw. You can peel this with a vegetable peeler, and that's probably the easiest way to go about it. So butternut squash, we've got watermelon radishes. These are really beautiful inside. They're called watermelon radishes because the outside does have like a little bit of a greenish tint, and then it looks like a watermelon when you slice them open. So those are kind of fun. Again, these make a great pickling radish, a great cooking radish. These are all the Asian longer type storage radishes. We've got leeks this week, and leeks and potatoes. So potatoes, we've started to get in on plowing up our potato field, and so we've got the white potatoes, Kennebec potatoes, and blue potatoes and red potatoes. So you are getting a variety coming up in these next few weeks of potatoes. They will actually cure in the next couple of weeks and get better with time, but for the meantime, store them in a cool, dark place away from the sun. This variety in particular, if it is exposed to the sun, it tends to get a little greenish cast. So be sure to put these in a dark, cool place like your pantry or something like that. I eat them with the skin on because the skin is actually very thin at this point. The longer it stores, the more it kind of toughens up. And it also depends on the variety of potato. Now, the one thing I learned when cooking potatoes is that when you cut a potato, you'll then want to take and soak them in cold water to get rid of the excess starch. Then drain them and towel them off and put them in anything that you're cooking. And yeah, it really, really helps things to cook better without having the extra starch on there. So just a little pro tip when you're cooking them. Of course, we've got those squashes, zucchinis, and patty pans coming your way this week. I will say that, things are naturally kind of slowing down a little bit, though. We see some heat coming up, so it'll be interesting to see what happens in the field with that. We've got some Anaheim peppers, we've got eggplant, some bell peppers. These are starting to blush and turn a little bit. We've got shishito peppers this week. I love those grilled. And then those also are paired up with some tomatoes in the bag. So these are not hot. We try to always make sure we separate hot peppers, but these are just the shishitos, so they're just a really great grilling pepper. They have a thin skin, thin wall, and I toss them in olive oil and then grill them and put some salt on top and eat them. They're so very, very tasty. We've got those turnips again this week. I love them in a salad, and the pink ones are especially pretty, so hope you're enjoying those salad turnips. We've got some beets, the Chioggia beets. We've got poblano peppers. Super, super stoked about fresh lettuce, and this is probably one of the best lettuce crops we've had. It's really, really young and tender. We've got about 3-4 different kinds of lettuce in there. Now, I like to wash the lettuce several times, and then I will store it in the salad spinner with the lid on in the fridge. And if you aren't going to get to washing it right away, just put a couple paper towels, dry paper towels, inside any of your bags, because that's going to help take some of that extra moisture out of there and help these greens to last a little bit longer. And if properly stored, they will last quite a long time. We've had people tell us, we can have 2 weeks or so, but hey, hopefully you'll eat them before then, because when you have a lot of greens like this, I'm eating a salad every day, and especially after it's been a little while since we've had fresh greens, and especially because we have all of this good stuff to go with it, it's feeling really, really delicious. All right, we've got arugula again this week, and that arugula crop has been exceptional and beautiful, and it is really a joy to have that arugula nice and mild. We've got Delicata squash. Now these guys are so small, they're wonderful for like a personal serving. So I've actually microwaved these, stab them, put them in the microwave about 5 minutes, and then flip them over in another couple minutes to finish them off. And then I use these as my little boat, my serving boat for any leftovers I have. So if I have leftover taco meat, or if I have leftover pasta, anything, I put it in here, and then I sprinkle some cheese, and I you know, put it under the broiler, and you've got this delicious squash in here, plus your leftovers, and it makes it feel a little bit more like a meal. But these Delicata squash are very sweet, and we're going to be introducing you to lots of delicious squashes as the season goes on. And I like squash savory or sweet, but if you do it sweet, put a little butter, little brown sugar, maple syrup in the cavity, and it's so delicious. We've got basil and we've got celery. Now, the celery does have a lot of leaf to it, and so I actually dehydrated, washed my leaves, and then I dehydrated all the leaves in the oven. And I just did 170 degrees, and it took probably, oh, I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 hours maybe. I really didn't count. But then all the leaves dehydrated, and they have this wonderful celery flavor. You can add to meatloaf soup. You can add to anything that you want a little celery flavor. You can make celery salt by blending celery leaf, you know, and salt. So there's just a lot of great possibilities for the celery. And basil, gotta have basil when you have this many great flavors coming into the garden. So delicious. Looking forward to so many merges of fall and summertime flavors, and I hope you enjoy some cooking this week. Have fun. Thanks so much. Happy cooking. Bye.